Skeleton Key here, and I'm back with part 2 of my end of year TBR. So, a bunch of books that I'm probably not going to get through in December, but I am going to try. We'll see how many I get through. So, next is. All right. Okay, Robert Galbraith, who is JKR, the Silkworm. For one thing, I did not buy this retail. I think I got it at the used bookstore at the Old Town Library. I'm pretty sure that's... Except it doesn't have a dot on it. I do know I did not buy this retail. It was either free or super cheap, and I was just like, well, I did like The Cuckoo's Calling. I had issues with The Cuckoo's Calling, but for one thing, it was getting to be pretty clear that there was going to be an office romance, and I'm just like, no, please no. Can we please just not go down that road? But the prompt that I'm reading it for is to read a book released on my birthday. Of course, not my actual birth date. The year doesn't matter, but on my birthday. And this is the only book I don't know. I guess, I mean, books tend to be released on Tuesdays, and so I checked as much as I could for years that my birthday fell on a Tuesday, and hardly anything was released on my birthday through the years. So I was just really bummed. Or well, I mean, a lot of things, there's no way of knowing exactly what day, because the copyright in the book just gives the year, especially on older books. So this is the only book I could find. So I'm gonna read it, even though I have issues with the author. I have major issues with the author, because yeah. But at least I did not give her any money in the process of obtaining this book. So, finally, La Belle et la Bête, Beauty and the Beast. So, and I have it on Kindle, and that's for, I went ahead and I did these out of order. This was on Lindsay the Bookworm's challenge, and the first prompt was to read an old fairy tale, and then the second prompt was to read a modern retelling of that. So I read The Beast of Bezek, which is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. So I went ahead and got the original French version of La Belle et la Bête, and yeah, I need to read that. And it's not that long. It's not difficult text. So it's just, I think it's Kindle. I think I'm discovering that I kind of have issues with reading on Kindle. I don't know. I like being able to flip back and forth. I like physical books, and I like audiobooks for different reasons. But Kindle just always seems, I don't know, or ebooks in general. I guess I shouldn't pick on Kindle. It's just most of my ebook library is on Kindle. Okay, then next up is Redwall. And looks like Redwall, that should be the last book in my personal reading challenge, the ones that I have to read this month. But Redwall, that is a holdover from a challenge, and it was to read any book in the Redwall series, and I've never read any of them, so I might as well start with the first one. And so I bought that on audiobook. So I have that in my audiobook library, so I can get to that anytime this month. So I've been talking about these books that I have to prioritize. And so there's Redwall is the last one. Interview with the Vampire, Animals Make Us Human, Kushiel's Dart, The Art of the Con, The Bone Witch, Space Opera, Right as Rain, Family Trade, Firewatch, Space Opera Insertion, and the Silkworm. I believe that's it. And the thing is, at the end of each year, I take all my failed prompts and for the year and I roll them over into my personal reading challenge. If I don't finish those at the end of that year, then I make myself read those first thing at the beginning of the next year because I have to get those done before I will let myself count any other books. And it doesn't have to be these specific books. It just needs to be for that prompt. I have to fulfill that prompt before I can move on with the new year and the new prompts. But a lot of these, it's like, well, the first book in any book in the Redwall series. Well, it has to be Redwall because I'm new to the series. A lit RPG. Well, I mean, space opera insertion. If I get like 10 pages into that and go, oh my god, this is crap, which I'm not saying I'm going to say that because I haven't started it at all yet, so I have no idea. But, any of these books, if I like Interview with the Vampire, if I'm like just getting into it and going, oh no, this is not going to work. The thing is, that prompt, Interview with the Vampire, that's read a book by Anne Rice. It's like, well, I have to read something by Anne Rice. Am I going to go find another book by Anne Rice that I might hate just as much? I don't know. And like I said, I'm not saying that I hate Interview with the Vampire. I have no idea yet. I'm not far enough in. So far, it's fine. But anyway, so that's why I have these books that I'm like, I have to read these. So, but am I reading them? No, I'm not prioritizing them. Yeah. But there you have it. So let's move on. So now we've identified those books that I should be prioritizing, but I'm not. And then we go to Our House is on Fire, which is another audiobook. I bought that one on Libro FM, and that is the prompt is a book about climate change. So that is very definitely about climate change. That's Greta Thunberg is one of the authors. It's a multi-author work, but she's I think, is it her mother is the co-author? I can't remember who maybe there are two co-authors. But anyway, the most recognizable name on the cover is Greta Thunberg. So, and I like Greta, so. And that one's not very long. I think it's only like 7 or 8 hours on audiobook, so I shouldn't have any problem getting through that one once I get it started. Back to ebook, and I need to read a book with a title starting with the letter Q for Alphabet Soup. So I've got Quinn Checks In. I have a bunch of Q books. I probably should have checked to see which one was shortest. But and who knows, maybe at the end of the month I'll be hitting up Hoopla, going, give me a kid's book that's really short and the title starts with a Q. And that one, I believe, was a free download. I get lots and lots and lots of free downloads on Kindle, and I really should read them more. But like I said, Kindle is... I have problems with Kindle. Going back to real life books. My Life as a Villainess, Laura Lippman. I have started this and it's good so far. So yeah, definitely want to definitely want to continue on that. That was an arc from HarperCollins. William Morrow, an imprint of HarperCollins, yeah. And this next one is on my secret TBR, so I'm not going to show it to you. But yeah, it's it's a large print, so it looks really big. Oh, well, hey, oh gosh, that's all in notes. But it's over 500 pages. It's almost 600 pages. Maybe I should get the large print books more often. And I mean, at first I wasn't gonna borrow it from the library because it's large print, but my eyesight is getting bad enough. I mean, I have reading glasses, but even with the reading glasses, it's large print helps. Yeah, even with the reading glasses, I find myself doing this number, so maybe I should just start getting large print books. And next, the prompt is to read a Christmas book, and anyway, so I have this, though I'm not planning to read the entire thing this month. This is A Lot Like Christmas by Connie Willis. There's a short story in here called All Seated on the Ground, which I was at a con, I think it was Bubonicon, before that short story was published in Asimov's, I think. I'm wanting to say Asimov's. And at the con, Connie Willis actually read us the first part of the story. And so I've been eager to finish it. The story has been published as a standalone, so it is considered a book on its own. I think maybe Subterranean Press, published it. I can't remember. But anyway, it is in this collection, along with some new stories and some other collected stories. I love Connie Willis, but we don't really have the same ideas about Christmas. I'm not a super Christmassy kind of person. I mean, I celebrate Christmas, but I've never, and I have lots of Christmas decorations. I just never have the energy to put them out. So yeah, that's why you don't see. Yeah, they're in a box under the guest bed. I like her storytelling, and she's got a new one out now, and I'm like, do I want to pay the $40 for the limited edition signed and numbered hardcover? I kind of want to. Then the next is another book on my secret TBR, and this is one I bought, but I'm not going to show it to you. I need to finish it so that I can actually upload that video. And another one on another secret TBR. Dang it. Okay, here's one. Book with an orange cover. Has art in the title, which so does the art of the con. So, but and that's for trying to wrap up that Detectathon hunt. I don't know. I mean, it's okay, I guess. It's just, yeah, why can't I get this finished? It's not even 200 pages long. Oh, it's a little over 200 pages long. But why can't, I mean, it's okay. But this is also a #1 New York Times bestseller, so it counts for that prompt. Orange cover. Counts for a lot of things, so if I can just get through this, I won't, it's just kind of repetitive. It's like, the theme is choose your battles. Okay. Got it. Why do I need to read the rest of this? I don't know. And then I need to read this so that I can get unstuck in Becca's Bookopalathon. I want to play that game. So why? And it has to be this book specifically because I drew it on the chance or community shelf or anyway. Has to be this book. I could like say, oh, I'm gonna start over every month, but no, I need to read this. So next is this. I need this for the upside down image, and then I can finish the Pop Sugar Challenge. This is all I'm waiting on for the Pop Sugar Challenge. And I mean, I got it for a book club. It's also on the Sirens reading list. For 2020 at least. I don't know. Is it on the 2021 list? I wrote a bunch of stuff out for that the other day. I don't know. But I was reading it for a book club and made it to page like 32. It just feels very twee. I'm gonna try it again. Maybe I should start over from the beginning this time and just try it again. I know so many people who absolutely love this book, and it's not even 200 pages. I'm just not digging it. But I want to finish the Pop Sugar Challenge. So. And there are other books I could read for that, but I've started this. I want to read it. I want to finish it. Okay. Oh. I'm not really good at reading cookbooks straight through, but this looks so, and it's so pretty. And just flipping through it, the recipes look really interesting. Ooh, coconut ice cream with caramelized pineapple. Rum-soaked raisin bread pudding. Banana cake with passion fruit sauce. Tuna and coconut flatbreads. Stuffed peppers with sardines and chili. But anyway, this is the Island Kitchen, recipes from Mauritius and the Indian Ocean. And it's a shiny cover. And this is for a book about food. Well, one is just a book about food, I think, written by a woman. Yeah, a book about food written by a woman. And the author is Selena Periampilai. I don't know how to pronounce that. There, you can see how it's spelled. And the other prompt was a book about a cuisine you've never tried. And this is Mauritius and the Indian Ocean, so it's Seychelles and Madagascar and Mauritius and Ile de la Réunion. Rice stew with leafy greens and beef. Ooh. I need to read this and make this food. This looks so good. Theft of Magna Carta. Should get back to this. It's interesting so far. It's the Sarum Magna Carta at the cathedral in Salisbury. I have actually been to the cathedral in Salisbury, and I don't remember anything about the Magna Carta. I vaguely remember that it was closed, that we couldn't see it, or maybe it was that section was closed for renovations or something. I don't know. I remember the clock. They've got, is it the world's oldest working mechanical clock? But that was cool. So I did get to see that. And it's a neat little town. And of course we did Stonehenge on the way there. So that was cool. Not that you could get close to it. I mean, if you paid an entrance fee than you could get within, I don't know, 100, 200 feet of it or something like that. But it's still all cordoned off because, probably because people are stupid and do stupid things when they get near monuments and things like that. Yeah, so it's interesting. I have started it, and it's interesting going, where was that? Do I remember that? I mean, it was a long time ago, but it's still kind of neat. It's like I was there. And then this one, wow, L'Arche de Kerguelen, Voyage aux îles de la Désolation. Yeah, I'll talk about this more in the next one. Okay, so before I get back to L'Arche, I want to go over a couple changes I've already made. Well, okay, I guess just one real change. I was making a list of stuff that I was going to need to borrow from the library next year for book clubs, and one of the book club reads is the second in a series. So I thought, well, why don't I go ahead and read the first book in that series now? And that is Killer Chardonnay by Kate Lansing. And that is a Colorado wine mystery. And this is the first in the series. And it starts with a K. So I don't have to read Kushiel's Dart, except that it's really long and counts for like 600 and 700 page minimum prompts. But I'm like, yeah, and this is much shorter. This is 250, 300 pages, something like that. You know how I was explaining how these prioritized prompts that I really need to get through, or else then I have to do them all at the beginning of 2021, and I'm like, this is 2020. Fuck it. No, I'm not gonna hold myself to that rule. I do intend, I'll just roll them over onto next year's. Again, I'll get to them when I get to them. And yeah. So I guess that's a couple of changes. One that, I'm gonna try to make my priority ones a priority, but I'm not going to stress over it because it is 2020 and I have enough stress in my life. Thank you very much. So, I also wanted to mention some books that I have already read. And like Virgil Wander, I listened to Virgil Wander. I kind of want to reread that one with, as a physical book. I only gave it like 3 stars, 3.5 stars this time around. But I think if I reread it as a physical book and can kind of go back and check things, I think I'll get more out of it, and the magical realism elements of it and things like that. So I do want to give that one another chance someday, just not right now. I listened to The 1 in a Million Boy, got that one on Hoopla. Monica Wood, I believe, is the author on that. I really liked it. And it's not a spoiler, this 11-year-old boy dies even before the action of this book. But he was working on this scout assignment, merit badge assignment, to help this elderly lady, centenarian. She's 104, I believe, at the start of the book. And he's, helping her with, like, the bird feeders and stuff like that. The book opens with his dad, who's not been super present in the boy's life, going to her house and saying, yeah, I'm gonna take over his chores for you. It's like there's 7 weeks left, so I'm gonna go ahead and take care of, this obligation. And at first he doesn't even tell her that the boy died, lets her just think that he blew her off. And but she figures it out, one, because this boy is not the kind of boy to blow her off, I mean, they had started establishing a really good friendship. And so it kind of goes into these relationships, the boy and his father, and the boy and Miss Vigdis, and the boy's mother, and then the Boy Scout troop leader is her boyfriend. The parents aren't married anymore. And they, and so there's, so there's some angst going on there. The dad is kind of not real happy with that. It's a really interesting book about relationships, and it is a tearjerker. So yeah, so have some tissues handy. But yeah, I really like that one. I listened to Wishful Drinking. There was a holiday reading challenge, and so one of the prompts for that was to read a Hollywood memoir. So Wishful Drinking was really short. Carrie Fisher. It was a little bit more like she was trying to do a stand-up routine, and I guess it was a novelization, or not a novelization. I guess it was taking her one-woman show, which I've never seen, and I don't know, maybe one, and I don't even know that I've ever seen a one-woman show except for, no, I don't think I have. So I don't really even know what that means. So maybe a one-woman show is more like a stand-up routine, because this read a lot like a stand-up routine. I'm a child of the 70s, so Star Wars, Carrie Fisher means a lot to me. So and then going into the ECT treatments, that she, it was interesting to hear somebody who'd gone through ECT and had good things to say about it. I don't usually hear, I'm glad I did that. So it was, I thought it was really interesting to get a different perspective on a cultural icon. I read The Underground Railroad by Raymond Beale, and it was a kid's, it was just a basic, I think, geared at a slightly older reader than the Underground Railroad that I read, which was very clearly geared for very young readers. And this was, it took a slightly different approach. It was a little bit more, personal reactions to going to places and taking pictures of places associated with the Underground Railroad, and digging into some of the history specific to those sites. I thought it was pretty well done. I did read All Seated on the Ground, Connie Willis Christmas short story, and I get why a lot of people only gave it like 2 or 3 stars. Okay, so if you're a musician, you spend at least 1 month of your year rehearsing and performing exclusively Christmas music. That's just how it is. And most musicians have 1 or 2 reactions. They absolutely hate Christmas music, and they suffer through it every year, or reach a point at which they just simply refuse to do it anymore, and they just take December off. Or you sort of embrace it. And even though I'm not really religious, I don't really get into Christmas really a lot. I really like a lot of Christmas music. Not all Christmas music. But I mean, I'm not really religious, but like one of my favorite Christmas songs is "Oh Holy Night." And I guess it's a novella, really, not really a short story, but it is very much about Christmas songs. If you don't love Christmas music, you're probably not gonna like this this story. You're probably going to get really bored really quick. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Now, back to, where was I? I was talking about L'Arche de Kerguelen by Jean-Paul Kaufmann. Kaufmann? I don't know if they use the German pronunciation or not. I don't. And I haven't started this at all yet, so I probably will not finish it this month. Because it's in French, and I do read French, but very, very slowly. So the prompt for this one was to read a book set on the other side of the world. I mean, you could go nice and vague, and, you know, I could have picked something set in Japan. So yeah, technically I could count Convenience Store Woman for this one, but because, you know, you think the other side of the world. But no, I had to go look up a calculator that I plugged in my current longitude and latitude, and it spat out the longitude and latitude that is on literally the opposite of the globe from me. And it's out in the middle of the ocean. But the nearest landmass was the Islands of Desolation. And I mean, I looked at it on a map, but it's mostly water, and then there's like these little islands, and apparently it's just, I think there's like a scientific outpost there or something now. I do want to read it. Sounds kind of interesting. Behind the Throne by K.B. Wagers. Prompt for this, I believe, to read a book by a trans or non-binary author. KB is non-binary, and I've met KB on several occasions. They have ties to Fort Collins. They're a Colorado author. They're very involved in Sirens, which I went to last year, and I went to the virtual get-together this year, and I have several of their books now, but this one is one of their earlier novels, so looking forward to that. So another prompt for the Habitica challenges that Farinay does. Farinay. You know, I don't know how they pronounce it. Probably Farinay. Hey, if you're watching, Farinay, let me know if I got it right or not. The prompt is to read a book with a type of fish in the title. And, I mean, the title is just fishy business, and fishy is not a type of fish, really. But the subtitle is The Fifth Guppy Anthology, and a guppy is a kind of fish. Guppy is, in Sisters in Crime, a guppy is... The Guppy chapter is for the Great Unpublished, GUP. Yeah. But every now and then they put out an anthology. I have read several of these already, including Windfall by Rita A. Pop. But Rita is a friend of mine, so shout out to Rita. Yay. So far, they're a lot of fun. So they all have a theme, and this is, you know, fishy business. 22 Crafty Capers. Then I have a whole bunch of digital arcs that I need to read. And I've got a whole separate video on those. And then I keep getting more digital arcs, NetGalleys, so yeah. So let's just not even talk about this, because I have a feeling I'm not going to get to any of them this month. And then, Parasite. And that is a screenplay. About this time of year, you can start finding lots of scripts for Oscar contenders. I have not actually read any screenplays at all this year, but last year I got a copy of the screenplay for Parasite, which is an amazing, amazing film. If you have not seen it yet, definitely watch it. And you can watch it in color or in black and white. And I would recommend actually watching both. Even like back to back. And I don't want to say anything about Parasite because it's just, other than it is amazing. Okay, now River of Darkness, and the prompt is to read a book with the word river in the title. I have several that will work. I had already started this one. I'm actually, it's River of Darkness by Renee Arith, and I started reading it for a book club, but then had to put it down, and then it got misplaced, but I finally found it again, so I want to finish it. So far it's really, really good. Okay, so then the next one was for a prompt to read a book published in the year 2000. So I'm doing the St. Louis Veiled Prophet Celebration, Power and Parade 1877 to 1995 by Thomas M. Spencer. I mean, you kind of either know what the VP Fair is or you don't. In 1995, as implied by the subtitle, they changed it, renamed it to Fair St. Louis. Anyway, it's this it's a 4th of July celebration in St. Louis, and I've been a few times. I was there in 95, the year that they changed it to Fair St. Louis. It's not super obvious from that image, but I remember looking at images of the Veiled Prophet. You know, it's a secret society, and not knowing any, because I'm not from St. Louis. Sometimes I would have occasion to visit St. Louis in July, which generally speaking I do not recommend because it is hot and humid and ugh. July is not the time to visit St. Louis or Missouri or that part of the world. It's just ugh. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying, I was talking about I'd see images of, like, from the old Veiled Prophet ceremonies and parades and things like that, and I'm like, that looks like Klan. They look like KKK. This is freaking me out. And so I imagine that's part of why they changed it to Fair St. Louis, and the city distanced itself from the whole Veiled Prophet thing, because I've done a little bit of research into the origins of the VP Fair, and it's not good. So I was really interested in really digging into that. So that's why I got this book, and then I was like, oh, hey, it was published in 2000. So, yeah. I have several more books yet to go. So, God, is this going to be a 3-part TBR? I'm probably going to end up posting this all on New Year's Eve. Well, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get part 1 posted as soon as I can. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up as part 2. And yeah, so then I'll probably do a part 3 and probably let you know how badly I failed at reading stuff on my December TBR. So yeah, keep an eye out for part 3, hopefully before the end of 2020. I hope you're enjoying my angst and everything, and I hope you're having a good end to 2020, which, a good end to a bad year is at least better than a bad end to a bad year. So I hope things are going well for you. Let me know how your 2020 is wrapping up in your reading life, or just, what are you looking forward to in 2021? Yeah, let me know how everything is going for you in the comments below, and please like and subscribe and share, and see you around.